Welcome back. In case you just joined me, this is your program Inside the Newspaper, where they come to you live now, Amaze Television on Channel 32. Don't forget you can catch you now with various social media outlets, Amaze TV SL. Inside the program, I deal with Abdullahi Fila Kontem, we are a seasoned journalist where we can look at some of the banner headlines and we make the own edition of some of the various newspapers and we day out today. Firstly, we get to look at the Independent Observer's newspaper. We say Sierra Leone prepares to host the 69th ECOWAS Ordinary Summit. And on the other side, we see why Sierra Leone must decolonize governance system. And on the other side, again, we see Dr. Ibrahim Bangura, a political masterstroke for APC and Sierra Leone. But firstly, let we look at the one we get to do with the ECOWAS Ordinary Summit, where Sierra Leone, they prepare for host inside Sierra Leone. Abdullahi, of course, this is a welcoming news for not only the president of this country, but Sierra Leone as a nation. You know, for the first time in we history, we get the 69th Ordinary Summit. We get to get ECOWAS head of states them and other ministerial. Then we get to come around for can look into various issues. Then we get to do it South End, the Africa continent as a whole. From your perspective as a journalist, what do you take?
Thank you very much again. I think this program is very much interesting and very necessary for viewers and listeners right across the world, because not only again in Sierra Leone, but also other parts of the world. We have Sierra Leoneans who are looking to see that they get the best of information. And I think a review of the newspaper, now one way can really inform, entertain and educate the people out there.
Yeah.
We are separating the noise from the news. As you quietly understand, we have the social media part of the world now, and people can just post whatever is in them on the page.
Exactly.
You know, they get at their mind.
Yeah.
So that is why I said it is significant that we're having such a program. We have diverse views, you know, with regards to this particular conference that you made mention about. Remember, the president of this country, His Excellency, you know, he also double for be
the chairman,
of ECOWAS.
Sure.
We done like very big lawyers, like very huge, you know, thing down for the country. There are a lot of other school of thoughts. They say it is something that is rotational. You know, whether it is rotational, whether it is not, I feel like for Sierra Leone, that's a plus. You know, that's a feather to our cap, and it is very much important. We celebrate situations like that because we've had other people where the people say, now turn by turn, we the intent they reach at the end of the day, they were not given the mantle of leadership to move ECOWAS further. So for Sierra Leone, I think that's a win. That's a feather to our own cap. And we go now to the conference proper. Like I said, you get diverse views. Remember, we had the same situation way back ago, more than 2 decades ago, when we had the UAE summit in Sierra Leone. So having these dignitaries coming into the country, we're looking at what is going to be discussed. A whole lot of things are there to, you know, I think the committee organizing and those who are from the Mano River Union and the member states representatives that are coming in have to look at several other things. Remember, in ECOWAS done the struggle quite recently.
Sure.
We had the coups that will happen, and before those time, ECOWAS now be that body they step in, you know, to a lot of, you know, situations really happen now, sister countries them or brother countries them. So I think and they've not met for a while now. The last time we saw the president, you know, making a move to
Burkina Faso,
Benin, Mali, and other parts of the world, trying to see that, you know, a try for engage, you know, then people and they first let we see how we can move further. So having a conference of this nature, I think we have to look at some of the things that are going to be discussed. Also amongst them, I believe, is going to be the issue around the Sienga. You remember the recent situation with Guinea and Sierra Leone.
Sure.
And also then they don't move beyond as well. The other day we saw another situation from Liberia and that of Guinea as well.
Sure.
So I think it's very much important that we're having the representatives, we're having the presidents, then will come around and then therefore discuss them. I'm pretty sure they will ensure to have those discussions around, and also how to foster the unity, how to foster peace, and how to see that you know, those will be already done the try for step away from the ECOWAS, you know, body, then give them a reason for make them able understand. Say, yes, we've not had it all correct over the years. We've seen that with Britain and the Brexit and most of other things. Yeah. We've not had it all correct, but this is the area we can improve on. These are some of the things we can do to prevent, you know, some of the coups that will happen.
Sure.
I think we like platform for them, we able to understand other people and use them. What really happen, what we can learn Sierra Leone from them things that really don't happen. That's the positive side of it. Other people would say, well, another side of it is the financial area. What's the impact on Sierra Leone? What's the impact on the country? You know, because remember, we're spending a huge sum of money, one for accommodating for us. You know, we get forget that kind of 5-star facility, and you know, they're coming in. So other people say, okay, remember we're having a lot of things that we struggle around. Quite recently, you look at the situation, the petrol situation, you get the school subsidy problems then.
Energy as well.
Whole issues around the energy and host of other problems. So another school of thought is saying, why we not going to use this money where we invest in these conferences and try for like see we swap them into other areas where the government currently they lack on. So that's the conversation around. That's the debates we're having.
Okay, and so looking at the facts, we are looking at the economic aspect or the economic developments where this conference gets for bring to Sierra Leone as a nation, and looking at the impacts as well, because the president, President Julius Maada Bio, happened or doubled for being the chairman of ECOWAS. And now, looking at the facts, it only plays so many rules for bringing some of them countries there where they into coups, for letting them come back to civilian ruling. And one go agree with me, say Mauritania and one of the countries where we don't associate with ECOWAS for quite a long time now, and they don't try to persuade the leader for see how far best then we will bring them back to ECOWAS, and as well as Burkina Faso, where we all know say presently they in military coup. And according to some of their negotiation there, where they go around, we expect say hopefully before the year they round, we expect say themselves forget referendum anytime soon. Hopefully by December or by next year, we expect see themselves come back into civilian rule. But the question now that the president, he gets the opportunity for one for the second time. This is not the question, despite we the host now. But with so many things that we don't do surrounding ECOWAS as a leader or as a chairman, and the benefits we Sierra Leone get or with our expenses, looking at the other areas, as you likely to make mention, we get infrastructural challenges, energy, fuel as all. But again, coming back, waiting will be the economic benefits with Sierra Leone get in this whole 69th Ordinary Summit.
Well, that's my concern, and that's exactly what I think I make mention of just before you coming in. As a nation, we're losing a whole lot. We're currently in a very bad situation, I'll put it. Yes, other countries now, so this situation of this Straits of Hormuz issues and some of the other problems that happen across the world, get an effect on other countries as well. But we're looking at Sierra Leone, we're losing more. We're losing more. So yes, there's gonna be start with if you say if you ever get a chance to go back. I don't think there will be time for that again, because remember, with presidents have not get too much time again in presidency.
Okay.
If we go into next year now, we'll start to plan about elections and all.
Sure.
So I think it go on for getting attention on some other things else rather than, because you being the chairman, a whole lot there on here.
Sure.
Like you earlier mentioned, you get situations in a home as a daddy for look at, and you get external situations then. And when those external situations they happen, you have no reason to stay home. Rather, you just so that's the reason why if a couple of times you get people that say, hey, this is the travel,
sure.
Sure.
And some of the travel they get for do with external reasons.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, and when the president did the out more, what did they happen? It gets a ripple effect when it happen with the host. It's just like a daddy. If you're more focused on what they happen outside, definitely things that are not going to happen within your house, where you're looking for them, gets a clear view or understanding about.
Okay.
So the finance area is that yes, the infrastructure will be a benefit.
Of course.
After the summit, definitely those infrastructures are going to be used to for that. Maybe we get international programs then, so we get for, because Sierra Leone, anytime we invest in infrastructure, for me, I will not see it as entirely a loss, because the country is far behind when it comes to infrastructures. Remember, even the stadium situation with regards to Usawa people will go meet. Imagine we'll get a public holiday or public event. Usawa will go to the event and we not get places there in this country. So for me, infrastructure, most times when we get them, yes, there's money going into it, but hence the physical properties there. I think that we can use them for subsequent other events.
Yeah, but everybody now just focus on, you know, the head of state summit, because before the head of state summit, we forget interministerial, you know, council sittings, and we see ministers them from cut across the nations there. We get for coming, get for engage dialogue and see how far best them go able, you know, reach at certain points where them go able either, put up or bring up something we, you know, get for benefits Africa as a whole. But then we start to look at, you know, the benefits when it comes to starting from, you know, the interministerial council sitting, going up to the head of council or head of state summits.
The benefits are so much. One of them in the area of even tourism, you know, it has a whole impact. The perception about the country as well. Remember, as Sierra Leoneans, that is why even most of the time when we go to social media and see a couple of negative things, then it can get me pissed off, you know, because unless it takes somebody for come to your country and for can clearly understand the situation really happened. So having those ministers and those people, those dignitaries coming in even before the president in the camp, I think it's an opportunity for Sierra Leone to showcase what we have. Then they come at a situation where so much is out there around the world, and we as a nation, we've already managed so many situations. Like I said, one of them is the issue with regards to the younger Guinea problems. And so them coming out into the country, one, they will look at the infrastructure around that they're currently developing over there. And just as you mentioned from the other area of the how to manage governance, you know, a lot of times we only say we don't want to have everything here in Freetown. Let me try for the move certain events them, certain situations them, or certain big programs them to other parts of the country. And you look in a very huge place where you can sell the image of the country.
Of course, we get a national airport there.
Yes,
so if we get an outstanding international conference center, one for say it will be shorter from the airport.
That's
so
good.
it's an
Remember, people
conference.
not only now for the foreigners, like I said, now we looked at the tourism area. We're now looking at even for Sierra Leoneans. You have people that are coming into the country. You know, when they come and go for Yagba back, that same moment they have for you take ferry, take Pampa, take this for come back. So, but if we have those facilities, we definitely somebody who can and look at just say just there. Who don't want for see me?
They will come for
just move over now with ferry for can see me, not to alter me. So these are some of the importance, you know. And like I say, it's not only as well for Sierra Leoneans, not only for foreigners when they come in. Again, we've seen a situation where Sierra Leone don't go to other nations then for infrastructures. Remember, in the area of let me just mention sport. Sometimes when we not get the facilities there, we get facilities that we're not there on, you know, we're not doing standards to international, you know,
best practice.
Yes, which we do most of the time. We can go to other nations.
Sure.
So imagine if we get a facility of such, and then let's say we sister or neighbor countries in Liberia or Guinea get an event. They'll look at okay, we don't go Sierra Leone. Ministers will say okay, we don't go Sierra Leone. We see that and get this facility. It is brand new. We can just get a communicate with the government and then we see how we can use their facilities then. Also, we get international programs then. Remember, before this time, when we get big programs, then Afro Nations program, then musical festivals, then football events, then pass we forget people all the time at Freetown.
Sure.
So if we get a facility there, if managed well, we can get other things that we can do in those facilities after this particular program. We, you know, the ECOWAS, the organizer. So I think that's one of the areas we very unique.
So because of time, I think I happened for witness, you know, the weekly press conference where Minister of Information and Civic Education be organized on Tuesday. We are in the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Alhaji Musa Timothy Kaba. We happen for the chairperson for the Ministerial Council sitting, and we get the Minister of Economic Development. You know, we na Honorable Kenya Bali. We himself na one of the key stakeholders when it comes to the ministerial sector. You know, a lot of things anyway they highlight in terms of benefit, but because of time, we're not going to look into all the one in there as well. But again, we look at another we get for say this why Sierra Leone must decolonize governance system, because looking at the fact say so many know they happen within Sierra Leone, and some go say you know this, some go say that, but at the end of the day, waiting will be we agreed, and waiting will be we system in terms of governance.
Well, this decolonization of governance is something very significant.
Of course.
You go to other nations. Nations you know, we ready for move beyond certain limits, ready for change. it's saddening that even when it comes to as simple as an ID card, the national ID card, a lot of people had to travel from Kenema for Camp Freetown,
Sure.
Bo for Camp Freetown, McKinney for Camp Freetown. We see maybe when with this the dispensation now, when they came into power, we see a lot of moves them way, institutions that they make, but the problem is they're not able for upkeep, they're not able for maintain those moves for them to make. Take for example NCRA. They started this ID card business. Then you get people who be good. If in Alumni you you always just go to Alumni and get them. If in Watalo you there's an office in Watalo you go and get them. If now Lunge you
no need for Kana Freetown.
Yes, but going forward now, we see say all let's say they start back.
You don't centralize that.
Back to Usawi Bide again. With a huge challenge because if you're paying for let's say an ID card, you give an amount roughly, you're paying 200 leons, and you want this ID card. If that office they Bo now, when there's a system, simple. If you have the office in Bo, if an officer okay, everything for Camna Freetown, at the end of the day, whatever is done in Bo, there's internet, there's technology now. Simply just send them to either SAP, to Facebook, different means, LinkedIn, and all other platforms. Them where you reach the individual there, then they move ahead with the process. But I don't want something where now just as simple as an ID card for 200 euros, then I pay.
180 loans for Komobo Canada.
Yeah,
you get for your own.
That's what I'm saying.
And possibly they can't see it till you get them for
you get for can stay, you get for eat. So for 200 leons, you spend more than 500 leons just for get that thing. So it's a challenge.
So the question now lies: we expect government to take some of the offices there. So the provinces, for the people within them provinces, they gain access to some of the facilities and where people of Freetown they benefit from as well.
And that's why another importance. Remember, Bala, the country everybody you carry on this job situation.
Sure.
The reason for this is because we centralize everything into Freetown. So how many offices them we I would say effective where they work, effectively in the provincial part.
Few.
So when you come up college, you graduate from the university, everybody's coming to this particular place to see like get job now. Because if we have a booming, ministerial business now, we get booming. So if me the boom, why for come again? So at the get within the post with the free train.
If we can cut and short, looking at the factory, London Mining Africa Mineral within at some point, we all know how people they migrate from Freetown, they go na Lonsal. Sure. And we see the number of population within the municipality, it be lessen. Exactly. So if we get that kind of facility, then they cut across other districts within the country, then I believe saying a plus to other people out there for themselves benefit from some of them facilities they are. But again, I want for holiday, we go look at another area we get for do it. Continue with the newspaper. Usai other one go other another of newspaper we when at the Spy newspaper, of course, inter we see Spy newspaper. I say let me look at this one we get for do with security fighting within the ECOWAS ordinary sitting, because now one key thing than the way I believe say ONS they collaborate with the Sierra Leone police, because now one key area than the way we would expect see we get for the international delegates we get for CAM, and security now one key area. ONS, the Sierra Leone police, and other security bodies then we get for responsible. So in a word or two, waiting will be you take.
The country over the years, I think we've done a lot in terms of the security area, but like you said, this is a different ball game. Now we're having other nations, individuals coming from other nations, top dignitaries coming from other nations. We owe them a responsibility of their security, and their lodging and lots of other things there. So I feel like I'm looking at it at a point where I feel like we get the required security for manage this particular event, and I'm sure the police, the ASLAF, the ONS, they understand the importance of not messing up, especially with regards to that for this situation. And I also have to commend I think quite recently at the Watch Your Sister program, a member from the ONS, they talk around, we began a security threat a couple of days ago. Well, according to them, he said that down then I'll be like how do I call it, a misinformation. Okay. I hope it is that. Because remember, we had people who go to social media. That's what I'm saying.
People are misleading or misinforming.
We separate the noise from the real news. I see a lot of people they tell you, not go near government building. I'm asking myself, I'm going to sit down and say, whose side, when we reach to this position, for let somebody begin to you see,
No for going
of
out,
not going to government building, they catch people and Boku people with arms and ammunition, with not being plants, them they are foreigners. So I think that move from the honest media part or whatever be really, really timely. Though the population of the country, most times when we don't get bad news, they take a time for let people come back to the reality. So that's why I'm saying Amaze TV they do very well, because for organize such programs, this now program will inform and educate the public again on that area. According to the media policy, not to that kind of alarm institution, in fact, not just a vehicle. You know, we then we get, I think, one soldier day, we from Guinea, we know we put on a regalia and decide for concealer. So I think say that in a one way, me very happy about that we get that confirmation, because I was really worried to see we're having this situation, we're having with the host this situation.
A very
yeah, we've seen we're not hoping for that. Remember when we come up when we come up as young boys, then remember the movie, that State of Emergency.
Sure.
Then I waiting be just going on my mind when I get that security situation. But I'm happy that you know, they've already assured us that they can manage this particular situation. Given that, also remember saying around Lungay they happen. So I think say that much if they really put the house in order, they are not saying they can beat the security system down, especially in Lungedi, because now free trial you say the situation complex, because you get areas the way Mutkano will pass, you get side we can use for, but Lungedi is a very open field, and I think say for trusting intelligence, whatever it is, the need for CC they act on whatever intelligence they get and blah.
Okay, so moving away, let's look at Spy newspaper. Of course, now the banner headlines say NASIT multi-million-dollar investment sit on a time bomb. Of course, this now one key issue again on a concern we, you know, just happened for come up a few days or 2 days back. We are in this outcry, they don't come up from NASIT, and to an extent, Carl get for call them for questioning and all. So with this, we know the importance of NASIT, and you know a lot of people anyway. I'm not going to say investments, but their money, the money then they already we are in. I mean, they expect say at retirement age, this now wait till we don't work for when we be in active offices. So now we expect say at least wait till we don't work for let we get But one or two things when they come up, we are in. You know, this don't be a lot of. It don't be a concern to citizens. From you take, what thing will be you respond to this?
Blah, this is very, very much important, this particular issue we're discussing now on the NASIT area. And I think so that is why we're calling on, especially the civil society end. That's why we want them to be effective. That's why we want them to depoliticize themselves. Let them get off from that. Because I remember when this petition took over, we get so many societies and just decide for act quiet now, everybody just feel like they're comfortable. This is now one of the responsibilities of the civil society organizations. And I'm happy that we get one way already decided, you know, we are not going to sit back. Because this now the funds, this now the monies of people who don't, they hard and labor. Somebody don't work over years, you take your money every month and go pay and say, at the end of the day, at the end of the period, if I retire, I'll take this money again.
And the Center for Accountability and Rule of Law in ACAL don't raise this concern, call them for questioning. We are in, you know, people them who will say they life them. Because some man, if you go and tell and say, wait till we don't give, you know, now this you get to end up forget.
It makes for some reason.
You know, that's
they need to understand, say, them particular information are not even supposed for the public. Because the public need for trust,
of course,
the institution before we can invest. We've had situations where you say, okay, when I don't invest at a point, remember they invest to housing or whatever at a point in time, waiting commodity. How can we, you know, for 2 or 3 years period, we've not had anything from you guys to say, look what we do and now this we don't invest into
any form of transparency.
Yes, now this we don't invest into. Okay. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. When I go quiet on the citizens of this country, and every month people pay their money there for over a period, that's a call for concern.
They know they give updates as to how they regulate people their money.
That's a call for concern. And you put up structures then. When I don't put up structures then. Now, when I be that their structures and simple. The public, now this amount will be put to, now this will be based with prices on. Thank God we don't get all of them buildings, then they don't be taken over by people then. I mean, you understand me?
Sure.
So CLN will say, okay, well, think say this money them people have put into them investments here, it worthwhile. Because another school of thought would say, you see, well, the places them be expensive, maybe that's why a lot of people be shy away from them. But now their own position for say, you know what, we've invested in this, we put 20 structure. But at the end of the day, for now, maybe in 2024, 2025, 2024, now 10 will be sold. 2025, now 13 will be sold. So maybe now 2 left. Maybe you get other people who come on again. So, okay, well, that's 2 or 3 left. I can go in for them. So that's it. When you're dealing with public funds, you have to be very ready to be accountable at any given period of the day. And like I say again, this is very wrong because when you go give money to NASIT, now because you trust the institution.
Sure.
So let somebody not go and say, you know what, if then people have to say are not too sure that they can manage the money well, other people will decide, so let me go to keep that money for myself. At the end of the day, I do it for the time. So that is why we are calling for accountability. That's why we are asking them to say, come to the public and tell the public that this is the position, and then we move from there. So I think Sedana is a very good one, and we hope that we'll get more on that.
This not get for do with only retirement age, because looking at the facts, we be get a representative from the NASIT yesterday. We instead we can see so many things with regards to waiting and the operation as to how NASIT and then they'll do the operation. Now let's say within the process somebody be don't deal with NASIT for 10 to 15 years, you don't gain contribution or you don't paying NASIT fee, but along the way, die when inevitable something come up. It gets somebody we get for take over. But it can happen. See, this misconception can come up wherein sometimes the one way you will say, okay, when I die, this will be my next of kin. The paperwork not in somehow too clear. Sometimes by the name, sometimes by the relationship and all. So for you claim that you possibly don't die in benefits, this all can be saga when it comes to the process and the preparation so far. For you able to gain, you possibly don't pass away in benefits.
That in one situation we don't really damage this country, and we don't also create a lot of problem for families there. We're happy now that the media institutions that exist for educate the public on getting the right information when it comes to this NASIT area. Like you already mentioned, well, we have several things to blame. Remember, telling the people not be too aware and just feel someone why do we have the money. If anything happened to me, then the institution, somebody go out, then we'll just come back to my family and say, people they will not even get somebody then next to them put say if I in the process anything happened to me, let them prepare benefit. But we also get families then we would say, you see, then they get every documentation, then lost people along the line in the line of duty, then get the documentations then get everything. But when they go for get the process, the delay or whatever can happen. There are certain situations we don't come from that thing. Whilst I was like writing for a newspaper, we be really sad. It gets to a point where some people even reported some members of the institution be tell some people and say if you want this money, you will give this percentage. You want this money, you will give this percentage.
Which is very, very bad.
Very, very sad. And like I said, the other year and a day of secrecy. So man they work in family don't be able to say it even they contribute. So when it pass away, nobody will even go to NASIT for make any claims. So these are some of the things that we expect the institution
for the experience.
Always they come to the public. Now that quiet way they go, now it call for concern. That is why you see people start to ask what is happening. Because when need for come to the public and say, okay, now like we say, not only when this person retire, this person could go 10 or 15 years, or maybe anything happen within the process. But if that didn't happen, okay, it gets 2 or 3 picking them, where we go invite, or if you get 1 or 2 man, or you get a human list, nationally position this. So everybody, every family out there will educate you on board as well. Now the situation is about how do we get back? So that make a lot of people their money not even they come out. Like what you say, when you don't work over the years, you don't contribute your money at the end of the day, the person died. Now so back the money back, we just direct down there because we know they get tangible information still. We know they get things that people rely on for go claim, make them claims from NASIT. I think it's very important.
Okay, as we continue inside the newspaper, we can look at the exclusive newspaper. We say humanity must rise above politics, says by Dr. Ibrahim Bangura. Of course, in one of the lead aspirants for the All People's Congress when at the main opposition. Of course, himself, don't they give so much in terms of public lecture and all. From waiting we get now, humanity must rise above politics. The other day we look at APC and SLPP, they are one. And today we say humanity must rise above politics. So waiting that you take on this.
An amazing caption, from Dr. Ibrahim. I think these are some of the statements that we would expect from leaders then in the country. Because remember last year, we've been through a lot when it comes to the political arena. Quite recently, you clearly understand the issue around the treason issues that may happen. That did destabilize the nation. That did make the progress they make as a nation, it is hammer and it make we know for it move further. Because when we are looking, yes, politics cannot be decent at all, entirely, but the bigger picture, that's why I'm like, I'm very much impressed with whatever I say. You know, the bigger picture is we're all humans.
Sure.
The other day you had somebody who will serve as a president, now he's not under seat again.
Of course.
So if we have leaders like Dr. Ibrahim saying that kind of statement, I think this is like a welcoming one.
Okay.
And yes, we have other leaders across all other political parties, whether APC, whether SLPP. So as an individual making those statements, it gives you hope that you know, peradventure he happens to be the flag bearer or president, he gets a vision for unite the country, because that's the focus. That's what we're looking at. We're not looking again for a leader who will come back and put you on a separate line. The humanity part is very important. No matter the color, no matter the region, we're all humans. That's not the very first thing. Before we're humans before we get associated with whatever. So,
of course. And
remember, as somebody who's been at the field, the academic field for a very long time, I think it gets wealth of knowledge, especially because it also partake in a host of governance structures or issues, not only in Sierra Leone but outside the country. So that experience, I think that is why what we're, like somebody say heal, I think the what slogan or heal, build and whatever. These are the things we're looking out for. I want to say move from that position. We all the time when we get to media institutions or we watch programs, them we see politicians and they speak on dividing the country rather than we're not going to entirely say come together. But these are some of the things that we want for you from people who really vouch for positions in the country, and this now the situation we want for see in all aspects of the country, whether in politics, whether in sports, whether in education, and a host of other things. So that is why. Another important thing that the Dr. Ibrahim, the Senghers, the Cherikoko, the those by Mahmoud, the this ACC boss, and Fatima, and the rest of the other people, they come into politics now. I think the reason why they need to see politics as you put the human side of it ahead of the politics now, because they are all young. That's what they're going to tell see now. All part of the game politics. Yep. We see the dynamics, they change now. Abdullah,
one go on for ask, if I can read it shortly. One go on for ask. The politicians think a role for play. Yeah. Likewise, we the mass system get a role for play, because most times you can see some of them can get with that fine tune. Yeah. Since it is vying for this particular position, it'll be very fine, nice tune. But the moment it come in, it can be a different person altogether. But again, we the people of this country get a role for play, because at the end of the day, if such person they come up with this, you know, waiting are we own role and responsibility for follow the trend of loving one another rather than putting politics at the forefront. We will divide. We actually still call at some point. I be there with a foreigner, we a Ghanaian. I so shocked with it. Me say Sierra Leone. It's a politics not to the problem. It's a the problem where they hit this country. It's in a color. It's a you go be interested for this in the maritime, then live together, do everything. But the moment there is this red and green, when are just an ordinary color coming, then there comes in the division. We live for the wave of things in there against we serve as a nation.
The country now the key focus now for the now we all mind say. Yes, we belong to various political parties, but the interest of the country is another focus for the. And if you look at the landscape, the political landscape, I think it don't change a bit compared to what we used to have before. So, like you said, the people are the problems. But now, what we see now that a lot of people who are for coming to politics, the people they demand, we kind of they ask a lot from them now compared to how we used to do before. Take Mr. Momodu Osu or whether they call the Jagaban or whatever. We don't see a move they don't make where they contribute to society even before, because that's the area we need to see that, you know, just say the question Kanamo, I can't do for this, what can I do this. Now the landscape don't change. We they see the people that if we do something, even before we say, okay, you know what, let's test this person. Okay. So that's the change we're having. It's not like before when we only rely on the promises. Now we have people who are coming in. Like I said, this is not a secret. We get a lot of the key ones that you look at for various political parties. The Musa Tarawali, you see what they do with other people. The Fatima, you see their contributions there. So, as a nation, like you earlier said, we have a responsibility now. We the people get a responsibility because every prayer for me, most of the time when you go to events, them you they see them together.
Of course.
You see them, they dying together.
Of
you
course.
See them, look at the recent burial ceremony of the
chairman of the
People's Congress.
Yes.
You see camaraderie between them people and this NGC, this APC, this SLPP, this. They were so in tuned, yes, they will get their own different agendas then. We, the people, get a responsibility now for, so you know what, we don't need to allow maybe just one person tell 10,000 people, so it's in una common skill of
and yesterday, Miss FC, the chairman of the Serang People's Party, Jimmy Batilo Sunga, in late study in ceremony, we see Cheriko Kosef, they attend. So looking at the unity, we are in, them politicians there, they always unite. But coming back to within Afritown, the people of within the provinces, let's say you get certain villages and no matter how you will speak to them, they will tell you say because up till now they don't get the orientation say now this and this also for do follow we ensure say wait within one for C. But don't move away. I stand on the between now. We will look at the provincial newspaper. We say APC says PPRC petition behind election delay. Of course, then we supposed forget them lower level election. So this constituency election this past weekend, but we see them be postponed now to the 11th. As time debate, waiting I take.
Well, I don't have to take two from this provincial. I don't have to be entirely on the PPRC.
Okay.
I think also the party also gets they also get a part when they play in the delays, because if you put it entirely on PPRC, then it means even the very first how do we call it, constituency elections will happen. Now PPRC, no. They had skirmishes will happen.
Sure.
And those skirmishes, they will have petitions from various candidates.
There are people who are dissatisfied.
They felt dissatisfied. They felt like the process was not, genuine, and they're looking for redress. And now then they come with this one way. A lot of, not all areas then out, some of the areas and they say, okay, because of this particular petition we received, we're going back for this. So it's blind. It's not entirely on the area of PPRC. Let me not deceive the public for believe that. Now, what's happened with regards to the very first lower level elections, then the petitions and all. But this one way, this one we just passed. One would say PPRC also play a part in it. Though, like I said, not even this one we done, so not to entirely on PPRC. The party then get their own day, and PPRC I think say they say get their own day. But I think say this is one area we if the party want for be an effective opposition, these are the things they need for try for work beyond, because this will delay even any kind of plans they get, and most of other things they don't put in place. So they need to strive and so that they get this thing done with. Let them move ahead with that.
That's the next question again. We be actually one for ask. Say, I mean, waiting cause this. Postponement. Now that they get another election, so waiting did happen for them not repeat itself again. They need for them as a party put themselves to order for them do one once and for, because we don't get much time as the election self notify again a national election notify again. They need for put themselves together as a party, because themselves they expect the upcoming convention we get for happen hopefully inside Makeni or Oput Loco, as the case may be. That's all depends on the party and whose decision we then get from it. So it will be you.
Exactly. A lot need for be done, because remember we get timelines them we PPRC don't set for a host of other events them. Yes, the party gets so many things that will happen with them in recent time. Remember the death of the chairman, this engagement with them they get on, this with the moral guarantors issues, host of other events that will happen within the party. So the elections they will then get, the constituency elections they will then get, I feel like they for already try to get themselves now one whole sense. So that's the only way we can get them effective. That's the only way we can get them efficient. Because if the house is not in order, then how do you for pinpoint any other thing will happen with the current dispensation?
Sure.
So it is only when we see from one point, it is only when I don't address the issue then we will get internally. Then that's when we are therefore come out from our house now. You can say, okay, the people we now the all they are responsible for A or B or C. So I think that is very important. The APC need to go back and put the house in order, look at the chairmanship, whether if they can continue with this possibly just assume position after the death of Minister Mikhailo.
Okay.
So let them get the house in order, then we see what can happen next.
Okay, plenty thank you, Abdullahi Filakonte, when I a seasoned journalist, we can join me for discuss into some of the banner headlines. As we saw, you will able to look at all the other newspapers then because of time. One for say we sorry about that. For this opportunity for say plenty thank you to the management and to the man we make una see live now Facebook page when Joseph Kanu and Edward Kamara we make una see now we mainstream on channel 32. Remember say this is the program inside the newspaper and it come to you live now Miss Television. Till we meet tomorrow, same time, same station. Mina Ishmael Gula, one for say tata.
Alright, are you having difficulty with your internet service? Worry no more. Online has got you covered. Heard about Shop Online? Here's the catch. Shop Online is an exciting platform to search for goods and services throughout Sierra Leone. At Shop Online, you can buy and sell cars, motorbikes, and vans. We've got a selection of over 100 cars. You can browse through the photographs and specifications of each one. Also, Online's fully managed IP/MPLS private network offers your enterprise with a world-class fast and easy access internet with the possibility of connecting all of your sites to a single IP network, allowing data, voice, and video convergence. Our internet service provider, LimeZone, is a high-speed internet that lets you work easily and at a faster rate. Want to know more? Please call on the online sales team on 303 from any online number or +232 76 88 88 85 or +232 30 88 88 85 or email and find out more about the packages we offer and how we can help your business. Online, beyond online.